Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix, and I'm going to do what could be called a power talk, specifically about something that I got to do recently, which was take a course on DBT, which stands for Dialectical Behavior Therapy. I'll keep the power talk brief so as to pack the punch of resiliency and communication, as well as motivation. But yeah, so the DBT course was really interesting because one of the main lessons that I learned from it was the idea that most things are not what they seem. Granted, you get this in other traditions. The one that I think of the most is Buddhism, with the notion that the things that we perceive, the reality we perceive, is not the full reality. And this is a really important idea, and this, along with mindfulness, are at the heart of DBT therapy, and I find both of the ideas helpful. Also, in terms of the philosophical tradition of the West, we get our notion of dialecticism, as you could call it, of the dialectic, which is the whole notion of being able to entertain multiple positions and multiple points of view at one time, being able to look at opposing arguments, and that has also, in my life, been helpful. Now, I wanted to offer one specific example, among many examples, of my mentality on the difficulty of life and how I force myself to be resilient amidst adversity and amidst the difficulties of life that we face. And the way that I understand this is in various experiences that I've been in recently, I realize that things are not everything that I would assume that they are, as I said previously. But the reason why this is important is because it's easy to go off on difficult trains of thought that don't really yield any fruit. And this has been my constant experience. And so the thing that I've had to learn is I want to be in control of my internal state. And while I would argue that there are other factors to these things, external factors to these things, I would argue that there is also an internal state. And right now, as well as with the help of DBT and the course that I took and other things such as philosophy and community and discussions with people, is realizing that not only are things not what they seem, but I want to be able to understand my internal state because it helps me navigate the world, and I want to be able to mediate my response. Now, this is actually very interesting for me, and it's also been very effective because I've realized that when things seem very difficult and they don't always make sense, there's a way in which I need to trust my instincts and my internal state, but I can also level it down because generally I operate from the fight or flight response, and that makes things difficult whenever it goes to literally 100 within like 2 seconds. And so what I've wanted to do is mediate my responses, and I found being able to do that, it's been helpful. And this doesn't mean that you don't express yourself, it just means that you do your best internally to tone things down. Of course, as I said, I don't think that this obviously doesn't mean that there aren't external or exterior factors. There obviously are other factors. For instance, people that know my YouTube channel and my writing would know that I've taken a lot of influence from somebody like Foucault, who argues about power structures in the world, but that's neither here nor there, and that is another matter. And so part of it is being able to build your confidence by being able to gauge your internal state and understand what is going on psychologically. I don't argue that this is the only mechanism that we should be paying attention to. We should certainly be aware of external factors, and I think the hard truth that I've had to learn recently is that I probably will react in many ways to the same stimuli, but not only is that my interaction, but it's also the interaction itself and the external factors that definitely make it difficult and that show me that the world is more complicated than I may know. And that I may continue to face similar experiences, but that I can do my best to look at the internal states of mind and do my best to facilitate something that I would perceive to be more on par with my identity, the things that I care about, and my goals. So yeah, this was a quick power talk. Just thought that I would spread some of this interesting tidbits of wisdom that I've come across in life, and I hope that you find it interesting and helpful in your own life. So yeah, check out DBT if you haven't already, and yeah, I found it helpful with its general system, and I hope the best for you, and remain resilient amidst adversity, and you will be everything that you hope you can be, or at least so that is the goal. This is Phoenix, and thank you. Oh, and I would say definitely subscribe and like and share. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love producing content like this, and having viewers definitely makes it worth it. So yeah, this is Phoenix. Enjoy.